Hey folks, back with another video here. Going to be demoing some really inexpensive bass strings. Maybe you've heard of these before. These are Alice bass strings from China. I'm not sure how good I feel about it, but they are $6.99 shipped off of Reverb. The seller on there actually does accept offers. I paid the $7 for them, but you might be able to get them cheaper than that if you make them an offer. So these strings seem to be the cheapest bass strings on the planet that you can buy with any regularity, not a closeout or something similar. This is a round wound set, of course. I guess you can get flats, but I'm a round wound player. These are nickel plated steel, which is my preferred string. Should have some good snap to them, that's the hope. This is a set, they're calling these medium, I believe. It's a 105 to 45 set. So I'm reading the package here. So this is model number A606 or item A606. On the back, there's some pictures. Maybe I'll put a picture of this up here and you can look at it. But basically, they have three sets of bass strings modeled A607, 608, 609. That tends to say, well, okay, if this is a 606, 607, 608, 609, or there's better. Well, those are labeled as, the 607 is Alice lower middle grade strings. The 608 is middle grade strings. And the 609 is high grade strings. These are 606. So even the manufacturer apparently, in some way, manner, or shape, believe these to be very low-end bass strings. So this is going to be interesting. So let's see if I can get these out of here. See if there's anything interesting to show you. Again, I just got these and I haven't done anything with them. So you open it up and, well, it looks like a set of bass strings. Already kind of, I look at the packaging and I can tell you this looks very reminiscent of something I've seen called guitar research strings. These are strings that I believe came from Guitar Center, but I can't remember. They might be Sam Ash. I remember the guitar ones I had were yellow, but this font looks really familiar and how these are packaged looks really familiar. So we will see. Those strings, I know my luthier hated them. He said, don't bring me a bass to set up or a guitar to set up with those strings on it because I hate them. So they did kind of stretch, but I didn't think they were that bad myself. So this is what you get. You get 4 strings. Imagine that. So they've got a red leader on them. It looks, GHS is who I think of. A GHS boomer has got this sort of header. But again, these do clearly state that they're made in China. So what do the cheapest bass strings available sound like? Well, I don't know either. However, through the magic of editing, I will go throw these on a bass. I will come back in here and we'll demo. Alright folks, back from stringing this one up. So these Alice Chinese $7 bass strings I've strung on a G&L Tribute, so the import version, L-2000 bass. So they look the part, right? Look like bass strings, and they're snappy. And there's a reason I'm doing this without the amp on. So hopefully the cell phone's picking up a little bit of that. I'll turn on the bass here in a minute. One of the things that I've discovered is not the perfect test mule for strings in general. These are rather unique sounding basses. They're very throaty, they're very mid-rangey, and they're not as bright as something else. So the next set of strings I demo, which by the way, I found a 5-string set that is not these, but also I believe from China, that I think I'm going to demo those on a Mexican Fender Jazz, because it's more of, well, one, it's a known commodity. Most people know what a jazz sounds like, but 2, It's more of a flat response and it's not so mid-rangey. So again, I just feel like you're not going to hear the most out of the strings. But what I will say, so I put them on, no problems there, imagine that. When I first felt them, they didn't feel good to me. They felt more like the stainless steel strings, something like blue steels or something. If you've played those, there are people that like them, but they feel rough. They feel like they're going to tear your hands up. From what I understand, they will tear your frets up if you play them a long time. They're just hard. I put the bass down after a while. I played it for maybe 20 minutes. I put it down, I came back to it, and it feels fine to me. Another thing, which is just my fault, I like to play this one with a pick. The action's pretty decent, but I put kind of thick strings on it, which is unusual for me. I usually like 40s. I actually have one bass I'm planning on putting 35s on, to give you an idea. I like the light strings. But I thought I had 45s on this. These are 45s, and I probably had 50s on this, so it kind of winks and squeals a little more than it should setup-wise. All right, so you want to hear the actual strings. So this bass is not the greatest slap sound, but just to kind of give you an idea, you can hear the bright. So there's probably just a better example of just. So, it's typical round wound, typical nickel round wound sound. They are bright strings. This just isn't the world's brightest bass, unfortunately. But, you can hear this bass has just got this real kind of growl to it that it doesn't really show off how bright necessarily a string is, although I'll tell you it sounds god-awful with dead strings, which is what it had on it. So, there you go. So, my experience, which if you look at reviews hasn't been everyone's experience, is that they seem to be decent. I don't think I'd have any problem with these. Like I said, again, I kind of feel like maybe the guitar research strings were these are very similar. I'm not really sure I played the bass guitar research strings, but the guitar ones, which they were really expensive when I bought them. I think they were $2 a set. I must have bought like 25 sets. But they sound good. They don't really feel weird. I don't know how long they'll last. I think over time, at some point, I'll come back and through comments or probably the description, I'll add like a 30-day, 60-day, whatever it is, after I've played this a bunch more. So. $7, it's kind of hard to go wrong. I can tell you I got them in 2 days. So even though they're made in China, I ordered them off Reverb. It looks like the company is in Ontario, California. So, and to get something in snail mail 2 days, that was pretty quick. I'm over here toward the East Coast, so in the Midwest. So, yeah. So, next couple videos coming up. Now I have fresh strings on this, so this guy needs to be demoed. I promised that forever ago. So I'll do a full demo of this and try to pull out some good tones out of it. And then also, like I said, I do have a 5-string set. It is not these strings, but it's a different set of strings, and they were pretty expensive or inexpensive for 5-string set as well. And again, I think I'm going to demo those on a Fender Jazz Standard made in Mexico. So, hopefully this was helpful and you make a decision whether or not you want to risk $7. And stay tuned for more videos.